Hey guys, Justin Bryant here from selfmadesuccess.com, and in this video I'm going to show you 19 social media marketing tips for your small business. I'm going to show you how to get more traffic to your website from social media. I'm going to show you how to get more engagement. I'm going to show you how to get more followers, and I'm going to show you how to build your brand in a positive light so that people view it and trust it in a great way. So first thing you need to do is, when you're creating your usernames, use the same one if possible for all platforms. So your username for Twitter should be the same for Facebook, should be the same for Instagram, Pinterest, etc. So for instance, if you go to twitter.com/Jeff Bullis, you'll notice that you come up to Jeff Bullis and his profile. He has a very well-known social media marketing brand, and you'll notice that his Twitter handle is @JeffBullis, all one word. So when you go to twitter.com/Jeff Bullis, it comes up right here. If you go to pinterest.com/Jeff Bullis, it does the same thing. It goes straight to the same guy and his profile on Pinterest. So you notice he has a consistent username and a consistent brand, so it's easy for you to find him. He makes it easy for you to locate him on different platforms by having a consistent username and a consistent link to his profile. So do that and it'll make it easier for people to find you on social media. Number 2, have follow buttons on your website. If you have follow buttons on your website, it allows you to get the most followers possible by leveraging not just social media, but leveraging the traffic from your website. So for instance, Huffington Post, one of the biggest news websites around. You'll notice if you go up to the top right corner, they have a link to their Twitter, Facebook, and Pinterest profiles. So you click those and it allows you to go to their profiles and follow them very quickly. They get a ton of traffic, so a lot of people that may not even know that they're on these social media platforms can go straight from the website very easily, no matter what page they're on, and follow them very quickly. So you want to do that to maximize the amount of followers you have to get the most traffic. Number 3 is you want to make a list of your competitors and industry leaders to study their patterns. So when you do this and you actually study the people that are the best in your industry, you'll notice that you can find patterns in what they're doing. You can find consistent things that multiple brands that are leaders in their industry do that you can incorporate into your business. So if you go to twitter.com, for instance, you can create a list from your profile of profiles that you want to follow and that you want to observe. For instance, I created an influencers list on my profile. It has 25 members of people that know a lot about entrepreneurship and marketing. So I can go and observe these people's profiles and figure out what they're doing consistently to build their brand. And I can learn how they're doing it because they've already been successful doing it. So it allows you to pick up some great strategies. So you should be always learning from the best as you go on. You should always be observing who is doing something well that you want to do well, to get the best tools, the best strategies that will get you there. Number 4 is you need to post daily. The more you post, the better in some cases, but you need to post at least once a day on every single platform. That's one thing you cannot that's one thing you have to do, is post daily. So there's a great infographic on buffer.com, and it talks about what the best times, or how often you want to post on the different profiles on social media. For instance, they say 5 times per day or so on Pinterest. They say 3 times per day on Twitter. You can actually do more than that. We've tested that. Someone like Jeff Bullis, he's a very famous social media marketer. He posts many more times than that per day on Twitter. So you can also test these things, but this is a great infographic that kind of helps you get started. You don't want to post any more than twice a day on Facebook because the shelf life of a Facebook post is much longer than, say, Pinterest or Twitter. In other words, it stays in the newsfeed longer on Facebook than it does on others. So go to this infographic on buffer.com and you'll kind of see the psychology behind and the numbers behind posting how many different times per day and why it works. So just keep that in mind and don't overpost and don't underpost. Number 5, use easy social share buttons for WordPress. And this is a plugin. Of course, this applies if you have a WordPress website. If you don't have a WordPress website, then you might find a different alternative. But I use this for mine because I use WordPress. I believe in WordPress. I think it's one of the best platforms. It actually takes up about 26% of the entire internet now. So if you go to a blog post that I did on my website, you'll notice on the far left side, you can't see it right now on the recording screen, but when you say share this on Twitter and then you do that, I have this come up, and it is a list of places where you can follow me on social media. And so that's just one of the great options that most social media share buttons don't have. It allows you to follow somebody after you've shared their content. So it gets me that many more followers just naturally from people already sharing stuff that I wrote. So if you use something like that, you can go to Code Canyon and find their plugin called Easy Social Share Buttons for WordPress, just like that. It's like $19, but it's well worth the cost because you get so many more options that you wouldn't get with other ones, like the ability to get people to follow you after they share your stuff. Plus, your social share buttons are going to be great as well. Number 6, use a scheduler like Buffer or Hootsuite. So I did a actual comparison between Buffer and Hootsuite in a video, and you can check that out. It's a pretty well watched video. It's got a lot of views, and I go over the differences and similarities between Buffer and Hootsuite because they're similar services. But if you want to just get the best service for free to start out with scheduling and automating some of your social media stuff, I would recommend one of those. Say, for instance, Hootsuite allows you to put all your private messages from social media in one dashboard so you can view all of them on one screen. It also allows you to automate posting, so you can create a schedule, and every time you upload a post into that, it'll post it on that schedule automatically for you. Buffer does a lot of the same stuff. They don't have the messaging thing, but they also have less branding, so it just kind of depends on what you're looking for. They both have free plans, so I would try out both. You might even find a way to use both of them at the same time. I've also done that as well. But use one of those to automate social media a little bit and just make it to where you don't have to keep logging back on just to post every single time. Number 7, study analytics to find popular trends. Okay, so you're looking for the popularity of posts. You're looking for indicators of what posts are working and what posts are not. So there's actually a lot of great analytic tools for social media because social media is so popular and such a big marketing and traffic resource now. So Keyhole has a great post called the list of the top 25 social media analytics tools. I would recommend you check this out to get an idea of what analytic tools you might try. Of course, I use things like Buffer, Hootsuite. I've used Google Analytics. It's another great one. Clout's another one. But this is just a great list that will show you different ones and what they do to kind of give you an idea of what you think you'll need, because everybody has their own needs. But you need to be studying the numbers from social media, because if you don't know the numbers, you won't know how to stop doing what's not working and stop wasting your time, and you won't know how to build on things that are working because you won't know which posts are getting the most engagement. So if you have a post that gets 50 shares and then you have a post that gets 0, you need to stop doing the types of posts that get 0 and build on the ones that get 50 shares. So you build your brand more over time by working more efficiently. To work more efficiently, you need analytics. Number 8, show a little humanity and be relatable. So the human side of social media is actually one of the most powerful strategies you can do long term. Social media will always be changing, it will always be improving. Different apps will pop up, different services will pop up, different competitors. But the same principles will apply. Principles like being human on social media and showing that you're not just a robot, you're not just completely automating everything, and you're actually caring about what people are interacting. You care about responding to their messages, things like that. So there's a great post on entrepreneur.com called Why Being Human on Social Media is the Best Strategy You'll Ever Have. It's a great post. It will tell you kind of why you need to be human, how to do that, what it looks like, and how to really connect on a more personal level as a brand with your followers. I would recommend you read that and just try to be more human, try to show a human side to your business. Number 9, make your profile look professional, inviting, and showcase your credibility indicators. So, for instance, let's go back to the Jeff Bullis profile. He has a professional, clear picture of his face. It's not hard to tell what he looks like. He has a nice quote, and he talks about where he's been featured on some major networks that people have all heard of. He also talks about his credibility in his profile. #1 content marketing influencer, social media marketing strategist and speaker, Forbes top 10 social media influencer, #1 global business blog. Things like that can really earn the trust of people before they even know who you are. So if you prove to people that you are trustworthy, that you are credible in your industry, they will trust you more and think more of you. So let's find another example. Neil Patel. He's a very well-known marketer, and he has a professional picture of himself, professional background picture. You can see he has a lot of followers, but he also talks about the companies he started. There's a link to his website. He talks about the different companies he's helped and influenced and invested in that are very well known that you might recognize. Doing things like that really build trust with people. Share your accomplishments, share your education, your certifications, and make a professional profile. Don't look like an amateur. Number 10, interact with your followers. So you want to interact with your followers because otherwise it's going to be too one-sided. And one thing you can do, there's a great blog post on coschedule.com about 21 social media engagement tactics that will grow your audience. And some of the main things that they talk about are actually engaging with people, actually showing them that you're reading what they're writing you. It talks about a lot of different ways to just be more personal, give a personal touch on social media without just being a robot and just posting stuff without actually responding to anyone. So the whole point is you want to respond to people. You want to join chats. You want to ask followers questions and let them know your opinions, and retweet them back and share the posts that you think were really cool that they did instead of just sharing your own. Things like that, tagging other commenters, stuff like that can really build your brand and really make people like you because they'll see that you're actually paying attention to them and giving them a little respect and a little attention. Number 11, you want to remember Facebook loves Facebook. So as a small business, you're probably going to have a Facebook page. That's one of the main social media platforms out there. If you have a Facebook page, I want to show you something that you'll learn the hard way, but I'd like you to learn without having to go through a lot of trial and error because it takes too long, and I would rather you get results faster instead of having to do everything the hard way like I did. So for instance, compare a couple of different posts that I've done on my Facebook page and you'll notice this one, for instance, is a link to a post. 40 people were reached in this post. You'll notice this one is an image with a quote in it. 378 people were reached in that post. This other image with a quote in it had 525 people reached. This video, which was uploaded directly to Facebook, is not a YouTube video, was reached by 414 people. If you go up and you see links, they do a lot worse. They get a lot less engagement. So Facebook loves Facebook. They want you to stay on Facebook. They don't want you to go to links. They don't want you to go to other websites. They want you to stay on Facebook as long as possible. So don't share YouTube videos on Facebook. Upload the video directly to Facebook. Don't share a lot of links. Share images. Do things like that that will get engagement but still keep them on Facebook's website. Number 12, put yourself in your followers' shoes. Think about what they're looking at. Put yourself in their position. How would you feel if you saw another brand post what you just posted? So there's a great quote that explains this. It's called, people don't ever think from the other person's perspective. If you did, you might understand someone more. So if you can't figure out why they're not engaging with your profile or why they're not following you on social media, there's a reason for it. There's a very good reason for it. You have to just figure it out by putting yourself in their shoes. Look at the profile. You can even go to, say, a consumer testing website. I think there's one called usertesting.com. Look it up. You'll find it in Google. It's something like that where you can actually test websites and social media profiles and products and things like that to figure out what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong and get other people's perspectives. So look at your own stuff when you post it and figure out how you would feel about it if you weren't a part of the company. Or just ask your family and friends, or ask people that you don't know, or ask employees. What do they think about your profile? What do they think about your posting? Things like that, and you'll get a better idea of why people do what they do with your brand on social media. Number 13, 80% value, 20% promotions. Keep this in mind. The 80-20 rule is very important for not driving away all your followers. So there's actually a really good post. It's pretty short and sweet, but it really explains this well. It's called Social Media and the 80-20 Rule, how not to alienate your audience. So what you do here is you post value, entertaining, educational type stuff 80% of the time, and then you do promotions for your brand 20% of the time. If you do promotions for your brand like coupons and sales and all that stuff all the time, people are going to leave. They don't care about your advertisements unless they already like your brand. So to get people to like your brand before they see your advertisements and leave, you need to post things like videos, behind the scenes photos, educational stuff, quotes, images of some of your employees having a lot of fun with customers, stuff like that. You need to read a post like this and get some ideas of kind of what you can post and what 80% of value looks like and the 20% selling, but keep that ratio, okay? Always be providing value with nothing in return and 20% selling or promoting. Number 14, maximize reach with post timing. So your timing needs to be great. You need to keep this in mind all the time. Post at the right times on the right platforms. Different platforms require different posting times for the best engagement. There's a post on CoSchedule called What 16 Studies Say About the Best Times to Post on Social Media. So this is a post that accumulated 16 different studies instead of just one and figured out what the best actual post times are based off of a series of studies instead of just one one-sided study. So if you check this out, you'll figure out kind of how to post on social media, what times work best for which For instance, Facebook, you'll look at 9 a.m., 1 p.m., and 3 p.m. They'll give you some additional tips in there as well. Best days of the week, best times. You'll notice they'll do this for other ones. They'll do it for Twitter, 12 p.m., 3 p.m., 5 and 6 p.m. Wednesday is the best day to post. So go through that article and it'll tell you the best times and best days to post. Number 15, only use platforms that make sense. Just because there's a few dozen social media platforms doesn't mean you should use every single one of them. And there's a great post on kissmetrics.com that talks about which social media accounts really matter and why. So I would recommend after this video you go check out this article, and it will kind of explain more in depth why you should use certain platforms, if it makes sense for your particular brand. Just because one brand uses it doesn't mean you should. You shouldn't just be a jack of all social media platforms. You should master just the ones that are going to get you more business. So think about that when you're making your profiles. If it doesn't benefit you at all and your customer base is not on Tumblr, don't make a Tumblr profile. It'd be a waste of time. Don't waste any time. Work as efficiently as possible on social media. Number 16, mix up content mediums. In other words, use photos, use words, use quotes, use videos, use infographics, use questions, use polls. There's a lot of different types of posts that you can do. One person that does this particularly well is Danny Johnson. You'll find her Facebook page to be pretty popular, and she is very good at mixing it up. She does photos, she does videos, she does different types of photos and videos, she does a few promotions every once in a while. She does a link every once in a while to a blog post that she did. She does something like a quote or just a quick message. She does an image of people behind the scenes. There's all kinds of stuff that she does, and she really mixes it up well, so you never know what she's going to post next, and it keeps her people coming back. So check out her profile to get an idea of how you should mix up different types of social media post mediums. Number 17, link to your website from all your profiles. So this is of course very important because you're not going to get all your business just on your social media profiles. Maybe in the future you'll have more and more ways to buy things directly on social media. I know Facebook's working on that, but right now link to your website from all your profiles to get more traffic and to get more subscribers to your mailing list and to get more customers trying to get quotes and things like that on your website. So link, you'll notice that all the major profiles, all the major brands on social media link to their main website. For instance, you go to Entrepreneur on Twitter and they have entrepreneur.com as the link to their website. If you go to my profile, you'll notice selfmadesuccess.com is linked to my profile. It's very easy to get to the website. The easier you make it for people, the more likely they are to do it. So just keep that in mind, and it'll really help you get more traffic. Number 18, brand your images and your videos. So when you post videos and images, which are some of the most popular ways to get more engagement on social media, you'll notice that branding can really help you, because if you don't post a link, so for instance, if you're on Facebook and you share a post on Facebook, like I said earlier, you don't want to post a lot of links here because you'll get a very small amount of reach of your followers. So very few of your followers will actually see links that you post on your page. So it's better to post more images. It's better to post more things like that Facebook actually gives more engagement to. So for instance, you see this image of her and you'll notice that she has 654 engagements with this post, and it's just an image with some message behind it. There's a message here, 247 engagements. But then you look here and there's a link. She only has 19 engagements on this one. There's a link here, only 56. So you'll notice there's always a trend of images and directly uploaded videos getting more engagement on Facebook. Therefore, you want to do those things, but when you share an image, say you share an image like this one right here, like Danny Johnson shared, if you share that image and there's not a link to your profile, people are not going to even really know much about who it's from, or if they, let's say they share the image or they save it and post it somewhere else. If you have your actual logo at the bottom like Danny Johnson does and her website, you will get more people visiting without even having to have a direct link. So you just get your brand in front of as many people as possible, and it's kind of like a sign. You know, you go down the street and you see a sign for a business like a restaurant or something. There's no direct link. It's just a place where you can see that brand is there. You can see it just allows you on social media to see who it's from, what the source of the image is. It also makes your image look more professional because a logo on there always looks good if you have a nice logo. And of course you can direct people back to your website like she does, pointing people to DannyJohnson.com for more if they like that image. So when people share images and share videos without a direct link, make sure you have your logo on there so that you're still getting quite a bit of branding. And last but not least, make sure it look good. The reason people share content is because of a few different things, and it's covered in this article on Buffer called Why Do People Share What They Do? Here's what neuroscience, psychology, and relationships tell us about highly shareable content. So if you want to build a social media presence, get more traffic, and get more customers, you need to know why people actually engage with things on social media. There's a psychology to it. And there's 5 main reasons why people share it on social media. And neuroscience, they share to entertain, inspire, or be useful. So when people share your post, instead of just liking it or something, they share it because they want their friends to see it. And if they want their friends to see it, they feel good about being connected to that post, because if they're not going to share something that they think would make them look bad. If you see one of your friends sharing something that's very controversial or something, you might think less of them. You might be wondering, what's their deal? So make your post really shareable. Make it look good when people share it, because it's positive, it's motivating, it's entertaining, it's interesting. Another thing is psychology. We share to express who we really are. So if people really resonate with something that you post, a lot of times they'll share it if they feel like it really hits home or really describes them. Number 3, community, to nurture your relationships. So you could share it to, say, they might feel like it helps them connect with people, or it might help them develop a connection with their friends that they haven't talked to in a long time or something. And also motivation is another thing. So if there's quotes get shared a lot because they're motivating. They motivate them, they motivate their friends, so they get shared. Last but not least, altruism, to get the word out about specific causes. So if people are interested in a certain charity, or remember the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge, that was a big deal. They were raising money for ALS, and it was just a quick challenge, and people were doing the ice bucket thing on their head and challenging a few other people to do it. So that was something that spread really fast, got lots of shares on social media, and it's just an example of something that benefits a cause. So that's another thing that gets shared a lot. So check out this article, it's great, it's on buffer.com. It'll show you more in depth of why people share, the 5 main reasons for doing it, so it will help you craft better posts on social media in the future. So if you got something from this video, if you feel like you learned something, please like and subscribe so I can create more videos like this for you. If you think there's something I left out that I should have put in the video, or you want to let me know what you thought about it, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. And if you want to contact me directly, if you want to get more in-depth blog posts on this type of stuff like social media marketing, if you want to get more resources and courses and tools that you can use, you can go to selfmadesuccess.com. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you have a great day.